A family is a circle of love, a bond that never breaks. Through ups and downs, they stand by with every step you take. They are the stars that guide you, the hands that hold you tight. In moments of joy and sorrow, they are your guiding light. Family is where the heart is, a place where you belong. With love that's unconditional, together we are strong. I have no idea who to give credit to for that poem. Probably the programmers who created the AI that generated it. I asked for a poem and I got one. It's kind of like the other one I found. We will get to that one at the end. What started me searching for such a poem was a passage in the Bible in the book of Hebrews, chapter 2. In it, the author is considering the evolution of our collective relationship with God. In light of more recent events, he starts by quoting the book of Psalms, which is really mostly poetry. He quotes Psalm 8, verses 4 through 6. What is mankind that you are mindful of him? Son of man, that you care for him. You made them a little lower than the angels. You crowned them with glory and honor and put everything under their feet. The author of Hebrews is particularly interested in the put everything under their feet part. It is not angels that God has subjected the world to come, he writes, and then continues after quoting the psalm with these words, and putting everything under them, God left nothing that is not subject to them. In essence, he was returning all of us to the Garden of Eden again and making us responsible for the whole world. Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. How easily we forget our role in all that is. To rule is not to just say that this is mine, and not just to take without giving. It is to accept responsibility for all that is. Because we are the pinnacle of God's creation, and we are given the ability to reason and the hands to do so. Moreover, the word he used to say world is an interesting one, oikomene. In etymology, it comes from a word meaning house and a word meaning to inhabit. Basically, God created us and then gave us the keys to the house that we now inhabit. The plan, of course, was that we would all live together in the same house and get along with each other. Oh God, you should have known better. From the very beginning, you should have known that there was no way that we were going to get along with each other, and that sooner or later, we were going to trash that house too. Nevertheless, God created us and gave us this world. To be fair to God, I think that this was just the beginning and that God also had a plan. In more common use, of course, this same word for world was also used just to refer to the Greco-Roman imperial world, which was pretty much everything they could ever hope to see. Oddly enough, however, among the Hebrews, the same word also came to refer to this combination of Israel and Gentiles that God had formed during and following their exile. They lived now, at least in close proximity with each other. They shared the house, so to speak, but they didn't get along very well. That changed once again because of Jesus. And within the Christian community, oikomene came to refer now also to the reconciling mission of God to the whole world in Christ. By the time it gets into the book of Hebrews, it has also come to refer to the world as it will be when Christ returns. The way it is described in the book of Hebrews is this: but we do see Jesus, who was made lower than the angels for a little while, now crowned with glory and honor, because he suffered death, so that by the grace of God he might taste death for everyone. In bringing many sons and daughters to glory, it was fitting that God, for whom and through whom everything exists, should make the pioneer of their salvation perfect through what he suffered. Both the one who makes people holy and those who are made holy are of the same family. It's like we all woke up one day and there was someone new living in the house, and his presence changed everything, because even though, like all of us, he was a bit lower than the angels for a while, yet in the long run, even the angels were actually subject to his rule, not to mention all of us who were in the house as well. He lived among us. He had friends and he had enemies. And yet all the while he was also the Son of God, the very essence of the Creator, now made incarnate and become part of creation itself. It is an amazing and astonishing thing that such a guest should come into our world, into our house, but the more so because then it became his house too. The oikumene, or the house of God, was the reason for his coming, not just for a select few people, but for all the people in the house. Israel had long seen itself as the people of God, but presumed that God only cared about them, that they were the favored ones. God was their God, and there was no other God. They thought the house of God was the one that they had built in Jerusalem. But as it turns out, God's house is far larger than they could ever have imagined, spanning an unimaginably huge cosmos. And it is only the house that we happen to inhabit that is small. Well, okay, we may think to ourselves, but this is still our house, right? It belongs to us. And we would be right about that. But since it actually belongs to all of us, therefore we also belong to each other. We aren't just roommates living in the same house who might not even like each other. We are family. And that is because of Jesus. You cannot have Jesus in your life without extending your family to include the whole world. As one scholar has said, these initial verses of Hebrews stress the exalted status of the Son, but the second part of the reading focuses on the lowliness of the Son and his identification with us, his brothers and sisters. This new section underscores that God placed the Son, not the angels, in charge of the coming world. The house we inhabit has already changed, and it will change once again when it becomes the house that we all share with Jesus, who is our brother, and has made us all one family. Every person on this planet is now part of the same family because Jesus has adopted us all. His glory is shared with us as the one who makes people holy, and those who are made holy are of the same family. Not everyone living in the house knows that yet, but it is true. Well, like I said at the beginning, I found another poem written by an actual human being. You may apply it to your family or equally to the family of God and all humanity. It is called A Family is Like a Circle by Nicole O'Neill. A family is like a circle, the connection never ends, and even if at times it breaks, in time it always mends. A family is like the stars. Somehow they're always there. Families are those who help, who support and always care. A family is like a book. The ending's never clear, but through the pages of the book, their love is always near. A family is many things, with endless words that show who they are and what they do, and how they teach you, so you know. But don't be weary if it's broken, or if through time it's been so worn. Families are like that. They're split up and always torn. But even if this happens, your family will always be. They help define just who you are and will be part of you eternally. Be safe, and God bless you.